Today we have with us Dr. C V Anandabose, veteran IAS officer, writer, columnist and orator. Dr. C V Anandabose speaking on a hike in the price of petrol, facts and reasons behind the phenomenon. Over to Dr. C V Anandabose.
Petrol is highly inflammable. It is still more explosive when petrol is mixed with politics. In India today, particularly in certain states, petrol is being sprayed indiscriminately to set public passion on fire. As they say, tiger, tiger burning bright. It is petrol, petrol burning fright. What is the truth behind the petrol price hike? People are kept in the dark. Why and how the price of petrol and of course the other fuels is on the rise. Not slowly and steadily, but in a very quick pace. That brings us to the story behind the story of petrol as far as the present crisis is concerned. As Shakespeare would say, thereby hangs a tale. That tale leads one to the footsteps of the veteran economist and former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh. It was Dr. Manmohan Singh, the economic wizard, who decided that petrol price should be deregulated. I repeat, deregulated, which means petrol price will be taken care of by the market forces, not government. Government will not intervene in this. Apparently, a very wise step as far as financial prudence is concerned. India was spending a lot of money to provide petrol subsidy. Let the market forces take its own course. When Dr. Manmohan Singh said this, he was clearly aware of the unpopularity which such a move will bring in. But he was prepared to call a spade, and he said firmly, the populist measures, I repeat, the populist measures have to end. He found this as part of the much needed reforms of the country. So deregulation was put in not as an impulsive decision by a weak-kneed government, not a knee-jerk reaction. It is a concerted action by the government of India, led by, once again, I repeat, the renowned economic wizard Manmohan Singh. But then, what makes economic sense may not make political sense, or so thought the political managers of those times. They decided that public sentiments are to be assuaged by hook or crook. They decided to accept the ways of the crook. The petrol companies were told, when you incur a loss on the petrol or diesel, Government of India will make good the loss for you. This is a kind of stealth which was adopted by the political managers to hoodwink the public at that time. They issued the oil bond. These oil bonds have government security which can be encashed by the petrol companies like the petrol refineries which sell petrol outside. They can enforce it and cash it at a maturity with interest. The commitment this way was to the tune of 1.4 lakh crores, a whopping amount, 1.4 lakh crores by way of petrol bond. In layman's language, 1.4 lakh crores were taken away from the future budgets of this country, over which the then government had no control. In short, they decided to borrow from our children. They decided to deprive our children of their rights by taking away the money which belongs to them and pledging it to the oil companies in the form of oil bonds. What is the result? People would feel that petrol price has not increased. The loss is made good by the government from the taxpayers' money. This is a political chicanery or political wickedness or crookedness which deprived the future generations of its due. India became indebted. The succeeding government became indebted to the tune of 2 lakh crores, 1.4 lakh on the face value of the bonds, and the accrued interest 2 lakh crores to be given to the petrol companies on account of this. To give an impression, a false impression to the people that the petrol price was not increased after the deregulation. This act of treachery was done, taking it from the future budget, taking it from the pocket of the children, and giving it for cheap popularity, for political gains to the vote bank. This is precisely what Manmohan Singh wanted the political parties to avoid when he said, the populist measures have to end. Now, where are we? The feeling which is given to the people by the party which was then in power is that when petrol price goes down in the world market, it should automatically go down in India. They also said it is the central government which decides the price of petrol. No, they know it full well that they themselves had deregulated it. Now what is the truth behind it? The truth behind it, once it explodes, speak for itself. Among the Yorubas of Africa, there is a tale. Truth and untruth are siblings. Once untruth tells truth, why don't we swim across a river? A friendly contest. Truth agrees. Truth comes on the bank of the river, takes off his clothes and plunges into the river and swims forward. Untruth, in the meantime, takes on the dress left by truth, wears it and walks to the town. Seeing untruth in the garb of truth, people cheer him, laud him, greet him, felicitate him. When truth comes after the swim, he finds his clothes are missing. All that is there are the clothes of untruth. Truth decides, I will never, ever wear the clothes of untruth. So truth walks to the town without clothes on. That is how the concept of naked truth came. They jeered him, they foo-fooed him, they ridiculed him. And truth is being ridiculed, whereas untruth in the garb of truth is revered. This is what is happening in the case of petrol price. Also, the controversy is created by those who are responsible for this impasse. Yes, we have to face the reality. Truth behind the petrol price is that wherever petrol price goes up, it is not only the central government, but the state government is also responsible. The price of petrol, which is given or fixed by the refineries, and the tax levied by the government of India, these together form the base price of petrol. The base price of petrol. The tax imposed by the government of India per litre of petrol is around 33 rupees. This is a fixed tax, not ad valorem. Does not depend on the value. It is fixed. This is not ad valorem, as I said. So the base price of petrol is a price at which it is offered by the petrol companies plus the excise duty levied by the government of India. Now, on this base price, all the state governments imposes tax, ad valorem duty. In Maharashtra, it is as high as 40%, which means if the price of petrol, the base price of petrol is 50 rupees, they get 20 rupees. When it becomes 70 rupees, they get 28 rupees. When it becomes 100 rupees, they get 40 rupees. So, the tax imposed by the central government and the tax imposed by the state government together go into the price of petrol, added to the basic price which is offered by the refineries. Now, who is responsible for the petrol price? Who is responsible? The same state governments which lash out against the central government, they are equally responsible, even more responsible. Now, the problem having thus been stated, what is the solution? There is a solution. If instead of blaming each other, the political parties, the state government and the central government decides to sit together, there are ways and means of overcoming this impasse. There are ways of reducing the price of petrol. But the strong foundations of federalism has to work. State government blaming the central government for a crime which it has not done, that will help only hoodwink the people. What is the solution? Certainly, the solution will be clearly spelt out. Thank you.